In this video, I interview Alison Jones, author of Exploratory Writing, Everyday Magic for Life and Work. Before jumping into Alison's book recommendations, here is a description of Alison's book. Everything we're learning about how we function best as humans in the digital age is pointing towards one of our oldest technologies, the pen and the page. Exploratory writing, writing for ourselves, not for others, writing when we don't know exactly what it is we want to say, is one of the most powerful and lightweight thinking tools we have at our disposal. It's also been, until now, one of the most overlooked. But the world's most influential leaders are increasingly using the techniques in this book to support the key skills of the 21st century: self-mastery, creativity, focus, solution-finding, collaboration, and so can you. Click the link in the video description to buy Exploratory Writing. I asked Alison, "Do you have a favorite smart thinking book? And why that book?" Alison says, "I have so many favorites, but one that I keep coming back to is Gay Hendricks' The Big Leap. It's beautifully written, warm and wise, and he has a knack for naming something that you hadn't seen until he gave you the words for it. Inner thermostat, upper limit problem, zone of genius." I had the good fortune to interview Gay on the Extraordinary Business Book Club podcast some years ago and was delighted to discover that he's exactly as warm and wise in person as he is on the page. The Big Leap, Conquer Your Hidden Fear and Take Life to the Next Level by Gay Hendricks, is described as, "The Big Leap reveals a simple yet comprehensive model of life fulfillment, presented in a way that engages both mind and heart." Gay Hendricks, a major voice in the fields of relationship transformation and body-mind therapies, developed these methods over the last 30 years by working closely with more than 1,000 extraordinary achievers in business and the arts. Readers will discover what prevents them from fulfilling their true potential so they may enjoy the highest levels of success. Click the link in the video description to buy The Big Leap. I asked Alison, "What's the most recent smart thinking book you've read, and how would you rate it?" Alison says, "This feels a little like picking a favorite child, but I'm going to bang the drum for a recent practical inspiration title. Aging Upwards, a mindfulness-based framework for the longevity revolution by Barrett Lewis. It's a thoughtful and inspiring call to think differently about aging, which is so culturally loaded. As a midlife woman, I found it fascinating and a very hopeful, helpful read. Aging Upwards, a mindfulness-based framework for the longevity revolution by Barrett Lewis, is described as, "Congratulations, you have been given about 20 more years to live than your grandparents. But does that just mean a longer decline?" Barrett Lewis shows that the story we so often tell ourselves about aging, that it's all downhill from 50, is simply wrong. In fact, research reveals we are at our happiest aged 80. Combining her extensive experience in teaching mindfulness with her knowledge of how to live and age well, she reveals a simple framework that can help you make the most out of those extra years of living. Rather than wait for society to solve the challenges of longevity, she invites us to explore what each of us can do to take responsibility for our own life and aging process. Click the link in the video description to buy Aging Upwards. I asked Alison, "Do you have a favorite childhood book?" Alison says, "I loved Alan Garner's The Weirdstone of Brisingamen. I grew up near Alderley Edge, and in fact live not too far away now. And it was such a thrill to me as a child to overlay the real place I knew so well with layers of fiction and myth. The contemporary story of Colin and Susan, the Arthurian legend of the knights sleeping within the edge, and the folklore and supernatural elements hiding just below the surface. It's one of those books that changes how you look at the world." The Weirdstone of Brisingamen by Alan Garner is described as, "The Weirdstone of Brisingamen is one of the greatest fantasy novels of all time. When Colin and Susan are pursued by eerie creatures across Alderley Edge, they are saved by the wizard. He takes them into the caves of Fundendelva, where he watches over the enchanted sleep of 140 nights. But the heart of the magic that binds them, Firefrost, also known as the Weirdstone of Brisingamen, has been lost. The wizard has been searching for the stone for more than 100 years, but the forces of evil are closing in, determined to possess and destroy its special power. Click the link in the video description to buy The Weirdstone of Brisingamen. Thanks to Alison Jones for the great book recommendations. Click the link to read the full interview on smartthinkingbooks.com, and don't forget to check out Alison's book, Exploratory Writing. Everyday Magic for Life and Work.